All right, good evening, my wonderful friends. How was your day? My name is Chuks Ineh. I hope you had a productive day. Okay, I want to welcome you especially to tonight's special discussion on Peter Obi, our principal. I don't know how many of you watched his speech at the just concluded Labour retreat. Um, Thank you for joining wherever you're joining from. I appreciate. I welcome you. Peter Obi made a speech, a wonderful speech in Abuja, Nigeria, and he told the participants, the members of the Labour Union and the Labour Party, that he has come to listen to them. He has not come to talk. He just wants to listen because any leader who says he knows it all is an idiot. These are his own words. That a leader mustn't know it all. A leader must learn from others. So thank you very much for joining. I'm going to share with you some of the interesting things that His Excellency Peter Obi said during that speech. I love that man. I love listening to him. He's a very wise guy, and you can feel the sincerity in his speech. Sometimes I just wonder how he's able to cram or memorize all those Niger State is 53,000 square or kilometer land, and Belgium is this and Israel is that, and a young man like me doesn't even take all those things into memory or commit those things into memory. So Peter B obviously is more conversant in that area more than me. Okay. Oscar says, I see you. So thank you very much for joining wherever you're joining from. Okay, so my dear friends, let us look at what Peter B told them. You see, Peter B, most of the things he says are not, if you have been following him, you will notice that just once in a while there will be a new information that he will add, because his story is consistent. There is consistency in his speech. There is consistency in his utterances. And so many times, if you have been following Peter Obi, you realize that if you listen to him here, you listen to him here, yeah, there may be different audiences, but yeah, I ask me whether I'm obedient. Yes, I'm 100% obedient. Okay, I'm an obedient guy. If you ask Peter Obi, maybe when he addresses an audience in Lagos or in London, and he goes back to Nigeria, because of the internet, we get to know what he says, and it's kind of the same thing basically. And say he was in the airplane and flying to Lagos. He asked the Yoruba, there were two Yoruba guys and one guy from the north, and he asked them, do we know the pilot who is flying us to Lagos? And they said no, they don't know. And he said, so why did we enter this plane? Why did we decide to fly with a pilot that we don't know? And the answer is because we trust the pilot. We know that this man is competent enough to fly this plane and he will take us to Lagos. And then the pilot tells them about the weather situation in Lagos, where their destination is, and the time that they're going to arrive at Lagos. And that was exactly what happened. And he said the problem with Nigeria is that many times we don't get the right pilot who even knows how to fly the plane. It's either they go and crash us somewhere, or they take us to another destination altogether. And that is the mistake we always make. And that is the reason why we end up in the wrong place. Okay? And so what Peter Obi is advising is that 2023 election is not about race. It's not about ethnicity. It's not about ethnicity. It's not about it's my turn. It's not about religion. It's not about so many things that are irrelevant. But the most important things that we need to consider has to do with competence. The competence. It has to do with the character of the person. The character of the person. It has to do with the capacity of this person and the commitment of this person. Peter B said, even though that we may not achieve 100% of the goal we set or the agenda that we have, but we should achieve 100% effort. And that statement really caught my attention. Because in life, if every day you wake up, you don't have a goal, you don't have an objective, you don't know what you are, you're just living like that. But if you say that today, this is what I want to achieve, and you make all the efforts, at least you start the efforts by saying your prayer, and then you go out there and make efforts to see how best those efforts can translate into the desired results. If those things don't materialize the way you expected, at least you made the effort. Sometimes the efforts of today may yield fruits tomorrow. It may not yield fruit that very day. That is just the way life is. And so Peter Obi was saying that he's going to make 100% effort, 100% sacrifice. And so he said the head of service, when he was a governor, she was always coming to her and say people are crying, people are not happy with his style of leadership. And Peter Obi said he told them that he was not voted to make people happy. He said he was not voted to make people happy. And that was really, really funny. He said he's not in the business of making people happy. He's not a comedian. His job is leadership. And so when they will expect that he should approve this, he said no. He would approve this, he said no. But when he started clearing the gratuities, the pensions, the salaries that were unpaid for a long time, then they started asking him, where are you getting the money from? Then Peter Obi replied that it was those money that he refused to spend when they were saying, sign this one, sign this one. Peter Obi said that to fight corruption is easy. If you as the governor or as the leader, say the president, refuses to take 1%, refuses to take money, and then the people around you also refuse to take money. You understand? Your family and friends also are not taking money. Then you reduce corruption by 70%. 70%. And you can imagine, he now told them, he said, you see the problem, you know why ASU is on strike? The money ASU is asking for. ASU started asking for this since 2009. As a matter of fact, when he was a governor. And that was one of the reasons why Anambra State University separated from ASU, because he had to resolve their own problem. If they keep depending on the federal government, there will be a problem. He said that ASU problem can be solved in 1 month. The money that Nigeria is losing to oil theft is outrageous. That money alone, that Nigeria is the only OPEC country, apart from Venezuela. For Venezuela, because of sanctions placed on them by the US and all those things, they are not able to meet their OPEC quota. So OPEC is organization of petroleum exporting countries. You understand? And so they have a quota they give to their members, the oil producing members. Nigeria is the only country that is not meeting their quota. And then one of the other things that I also enjoyed from the speech of Peter Obi was, he said, you see, there are people that you consider as illegal refineries. All these people that are doing refinery businesses in the Niger Delta region, and you call them illegal refineries, but you are exporting it outside to go and refine. The same thing that you are calling illegal refineries, the acts, what they are refining is even is sold on the street. I have entered a bus before. The bus stopped and bought the diesel from the street, from the black market. So the black market business is ongoing. A lot of people have made money from it. Why don't we legalize those refineries? Make sure that these are local companies. Legalize the refineries, tax them, and let them go into production. This country itself. Peter Obi said a lot of things. Let us legalize this thing. Legalize what they are doing. There are a lot of avenues. He said, look at Niger State. Niger State cannot feed itself. It's waiting for 3 billion naira that will come from federal government Alawi. Whereas if they go into agriculture, if they go into production, they will be able to export goods or products worth 800 or 750 billion naira. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? So when you listen to someone who knows what to do, when you listen to Peter Obi and the strategy and the plans of Labour Party, you know that Nigeria is about to change for real. Okay? So Peter Obi really said a lot of things during that retreat. He shared with them a lot of personal experiences, but he told them that he's there to listen. He does not expect that when he's voted into power, they go and start telling the people what you saw. You should see everything right now before you enter there. It's not when you enter there you start telling people what you saw. That the duty, the responsibility of a leader is to solve problems. You don't go there and start creating new problems or start blaming your predecessors or start blaming certain forces. If you cannot solve the problem, get away, leave the stage. Let people that can solve the problem come in and stop lamenting and complaining. Because we're all sick and tired. Our leader is complaining. What do you expect of the followers? A blind man cannot lead a blind man. Let us assume that as followers we are blind. We expect that our leader can see, and so we just place our hands on the leader and be walking, and be walking anywhere they put leg, we put leg. And that is what leadership is all about. Leadership is all about what? Taking the lead. Leadership is about vision. Leadership is about knowledge. Being able to do or solve problems. You don't go in there and create more problems and blame your people and insult your people and call them lazy on top. You call your people, your youths, especially the youths that have all the energy that to be productive. You insult them, you mock them, you shoot them, you kill them, you waste their lives. In this nation, we need a turnaround. So these are some of the extracts or excerpts from the speech that Peter Obi gave at the retreat of the Labour Party and the National Union of National Labour Congress at Abuja. And these things were amazing. I just love listening to Peter Obi. You can see his mindset is different. You can see that his system is different. And it comes to a stage in leadership or in governance that we need someone that his method, his system. Now, finally, he now said what they were calling structure. When his opponents were insulting him and condemning him and criticizing him that he doesn't have structure, he said what they have is structure of corruption. The structure to steal money. That is what they have. That is what they are calling structure. The structure of corruption. So we cannot allow few people with their corrupt system and corrupt practices to come and keep on making us poor in this country and making us suffer. We should end it. We should end it this time around. This is the time for Nigeria to sit up, for Nigeria to emerge as a world leader, and I know it is possible. So those of you that have endured to the end to watch me and to listen to all the things that I've said about His Excellency Peter Obi's speech at Abuja during the Labour retreat, I thank you for staying glued to it. I know some people do watch afterwards, but I learned a lot from him. Anytime I listen to Peter Obi, I hear and I learn a lot from him. And he has a sense of humor. He has a rich sense of humor. Let us continue to be obedient until we win this struggle. For now, those of you that would like to sleep, have a good night. For those that are still awake, I'm with you. Bye-bye.